everybody, and welcome back to Northern Lion begrudgingly trudges through the gutter in Dark Souls 2. This is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember too much about the central gutter. I remember the upper gutter. I was stuck there for a lot longer, but the central gutter might actually be a little bit easier, judging by the fact that I remember next to nothing about it. But we're gonna follow a pretty standard MO for this part of the game. I'm gonna, try not to get teabagged by these guys. My god, that did a lot of damage, actually. No, I'm gonna try to, make sure that I'm lighting all these torches whenever appropriate. And even if that costs me some Estus when I could just go back to the bonfire and get it back right now, that's fine. Reason being that, lighting these torches is permanent, and death is but a minor setback for us. So, again, I have to confess that pretty much I have basically no idea where the F I'm going at this point. I can definitely make that jump. I don't know if that's gonna help me. That roll definitely absorbed some of the damage on the way down, though. Now, there's some cool... Oh, come on. Come on, now. There's some cool items here. And there's some cool encounters as well, but I don't know if I'll actually experience those as a result of the fact that, again, oh, that's gonna hurt. Basically, just trying to kind of survive in the world today. I think we may actually be closing in on a boss bonfire, but there's a lot more items in this area that I'd like to get as well. So let's just test this up for a second. Again, we don't need to hold this torch. Holding the torch is a huge disadvantage if you actually rely on your shield, as I quite clearly do. But we only have one Estus left, and we spawned like 2 minutes ago. So that's bad news for me, and I feel bad about it. Now, these are basically jars full of acid. Why is that bad? I mean, I feel like that should almost be kind of obvious. Can I unequip? I get like an extra 2 when I unequip it. But anyway, I think if I shoot these, I can actually be better off. Okay, aim and shoot. I'm not very good with the bow and arrow, as you can see. Why am I shooting nothing? This is weird. I should probably have used the bow and arrow before I... Oh, because those are bolts, you ding-dong. We should just be able to use wood arrows, but, what are these? Poison arrows. We'll save those for maybe a boss later or something like that, but there's an item over there, I'll get it. Apologies for not knowing how to use the bow and arrow very well, but keep in mind, I never do this. Oh, these are just not going to break then. Alright, well, we'll see what this item is. Dark Fog, which I think is like a sorcery and a torch. I wonder if I could just, like, smack them and then roll away. And then maybe I won't actually end up getting half of my shit broken as a result of the acid. Like, it seriously breaks your armor, and perhaps more importantly, or at least more prevalently, it breaks the crap out of your rings, which you can then repair, but it costs like thousands and tens of thousands of souls. So I'd rather not, if possible. I could probably use like an iron arrow to do it or something, but whatever. Okay, good, we broke our Ring of Restoration. That'll only be like 10,000 souls to redo. Now, obviously, there is an item down here, so I feel relatively safe in jumping down. There's a fog wall, and Fragrant Branch of Yore is actually a really important item, and we are closing in on a boss wall, thankfully. A boss fog wall, I should say. Now, this is one of the most... And there's a guy, I just uploaded, like, episode 7, I think, of Dark Souls a little earlier, I read the comments, and some guy was like, you say every area is the worst area of the game. And I'm like, that's not true. I think what I say a lot is, this is an annoying area, or this part is, like, not necessarily so great. And in my defense, a lot of that's true. Like, Sinner's Rise, which is what's covered in that video, a lot of that part of the game is really annoying. I guess we'll equip the old Leo ring, because our Ring of Restoration does nothing for us here. Oh, good, my other armor is kind of broken as well. In fact, let me see, do I have... It's not great. Let's pop these souls. I don't want to pop boss souls to repair my stuff. I mean, especially when it comes to armor. We can just put on different armor, but it's kind of frustrating, I guess. I just wanted to see if maybe there's a reason to go back to Majula. So, knight armor's at risk. We can always just put on, like, hard leather armor instead, and... Can we still... Yeah, we'll still definitely be able to stay under the fat roll limit of 70 here. Just by putting this stuff on. In fact, we might even... Oh, that's like exactly 70. And a little bit more armor. So if I actually take off the old Leo ring, that'll take us down into not fat roll territory. Beautiful. Alright, well, what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to teleport back to Majula quickly. But before I get too ahead of myself or behind myself, legitimately, that area that we're about to encounter just prior to the boss fight is, like, sincerely one of the more annoying areas in the game, bar none. But let's see if we can level up a couple of times, or probably one time if we're being more realistic. The Ring of Restoration is... It hurts to lose it, but we'll get more souls later that we can use to repair it. And to be honest with you, I don't even think I was wearing that at the end of the game when I played. But your mileage may vary there. We actually don't even have enough to level up once. So F me, I guess. We might as well repair some armor then, because these souls are probably things that we shouldn't get too attached to, I would say. Can I reinforce, like, the battle axe? Why can't I reinforce the battle axe? Need a large titanite shard, which I have 0 of. Okay. Good to know, at least. Ring of Restoration will cost 15,000. Might as well repair our other stuff. Rings are really expensive. Knight stuff, or, you know, armor in general, at least kind of standard set armor, is really cheap to repair. So, that's fine. Acid is something that is used a lot more prevalently in this game versus, that's going to put us over the fat roll limit. Used a lot more prevalently in this game versus Dark Souls 1. Alright, so we should prepare to fight the next boss, basically. That's down here in the Black Gulch. Obviously, as you can see, the central gutter was much easier for me than the upper gutter, but I think I just chose the right ladder. There are some areas where you can actually be invaded by an NPC summon, and it's one that fans of the original Dark Souls will get a little kick out of, but I forgot which ladder that was, and my number one concern is actually progressing and surviving. So, we're gonna take a second here to equip some things. Do I have Poison Moss equipped? That's good, for reasons that you will see. We should also, I mean, if we have an extra space, and we do, might not be the worst thing in the world to equip another life gem. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Let's equip, like, our old Radiant Life gem. Alright, Black Gulch, scary area. I'll explain why. I've done this area about 100 times. So, it's kind of a neat looking area, I will say, but also, all of these statues shoot poison at you. So, in the future, if I end up dying in this area, I will 100%, bar none, just sprint. And that's annoying in and of itself, but you'll see why that's important. But, for now, let's take our opportunity, if possible, actually destroy as many of these statues as we can. They respawn, because otherwise it wouldn't be Dark Souls, obviously. And this is our path down here. You can't quite see, but the fog wall to fight the boss is basically right around the corner there. I was gonna say probably... Oh, never mind. We got poison. So now we're just gonna sprint. This is where it becomes a gauntlet of just fuck everything. We're not gonna pick up those items. In all likelihood, I will end up having to go through this area again. So I'll just pick up those areas when it won't actually cost me a major concern. Alright, so we're very nearly dead. That's obvious. Let's take an Estus Flask quickly. That'll keep us alive, hopefully during the cutscene. These enemies are chasing me down, so it's time to go through the mist. I'm not poisoned anymore, so I feel good about that. Okay, cutscene. Ooh, lucky me. Alright, so as you can see, we are basically fighting Pudge from Dota. He's called the Rodden, and he's pretty difficult. Your mileage may vary. Keep in mind that you could end up actually fighting this guy. I don't have Ring of Restoration, so I'm just going to Estus quickly when I get an opportunity here. Just wait a second. There we go. So keep in mind that depending on the route that you took at the start of the game, or not the start of the game, but after just a little ways, you could actually end up fighting this guy before you fight the Lost Sinner, which is a little scary, I guess. I find him more difficult than the Lost Sinner. He annoyed the crap out of me, and I'll probably die at least once or twice against him. But that's true for the Lost Sinner as well. But the secret I found, 100% block shield. This is really like the part of the game, because I was fighting this guy. Don't get caught by that if you can avoid it. I was fighting the Rodden and the Lost Sinner simultaneously and having a real devil of a time, as you might expect. But getting that 100% block shield saved me a great deal of strife in the end. I also used a ton of actual, like, dodge rolling against this guy, which I haven't really put on display so far, as you can see. We'll use our last Estus quickly, and if I end up winning this fight, I would feel pretty amazed. But as you can see, you know, we're not doing a ton of damage, but it's not an unreasonable amount of damage either. And, you know, for the next time we fight him, which will be soon, I'm not going to use a Radiant Life Gem to fight this guy, but for the next time we fight him, I will definitely use some, not Estus, sorry. Well, I'll definitely use some Estus, yes. But I'll definitely use some resin just to speed it up a little bit, because we haven't even seen the hardest part of this fight. Like you might expect, he actually is one of those bosses that gets a little bit more powerful when you get him down to 50%. The other piss-off about fighting the Rodden is that, you know, he's surrounded by fire, basically all around him. These hot coals will burn the crap out of us. There is an item over there, and it's worth getting, I think, if I remember correctly. Okay, good. This is why it's important to have a 100% block shield. And important to have the stamina necessary to kind of use it properly as well. So it's going to be a slow fight, and even when we're successful, and we will be eventually, this isn't going to be how this run ends, if it ends. Or if it ends on successfully, I should say, this isn't going to be how it ends. As you can see, you know, his patterns are not impossible to learn by any stretch of the imagination. It's just a little bit different, and I mean that like a little superficially, but a little bit different than just standard man plus sword. Pretty much your formula stays basically the same. It's just going to be a little bit more of a war of attrition here. And yeah, I expected to die, but that's fine. Alright, so that's the rod, and there actually is a summon sign for this guy, but it's not very good. It's a crossbowman, an AI summon, I should say. It's a crossbowman by the name of Lone Hunter Schmidt, and I can understand why he's a lone hunter, because no one in their right mind would ever want to hang out with this guy. Basically, all he does is walk in, shoot his crossbow a couple of times, and then die in the fire. But because this is for fun, why don't we try to summon him? We have 9 human effigies. I don't mind wasting one. I mean, this is just even assuming that I make it to the point where I can actually summon him, which is pretty close by. And plus, if you're stuck on this boss, it's possible that he might give you the help necessary to succeed if you're very close to beating him already. So I don't have a strategy for getting through this without getting poisoned. My strategy was largely just don't care about poison. Yeah, just get poisoned and then fucking sprint forever. Now, I forget what these items are. Large Soul of a Nameless Soldier is something. Scraps of Life, I don't actually know. And Torch is, well, you know what a torch is probably by this point. As you can see, there is our summon sign. So I'm going to summon him up. And I'm going to run. And we're going to heal. And these hand monsters are going to start chasing me. So it's pretty important for me to, A, not get poisoned again. But B, actually make my way into this fight. So I might take a quick life gem right off the top here. And then just get ready for the fight to start. And I won't use... did he actually... Lone Hunter Schmidt can't make it through the fog wall. That's kind of a troubling AI trend, unfortunately. I think he made it. I felt like a little controller rumble. Alright, so I had no stamina there, so that worked out very well. I'm actually going to run away and hopefully get the Rodden to follow me. I really just want Lone Hunter Schmidt to not take the aggro. Oh, but I wanted to be in this area. I wasn't just running away so that he could fight. I was running away because I don't want to be near this fire in case the knockback from some of the Rodden's attacks actually push me into the coals. So I guess, you know, our strategy is going to have to be... Oh, there he goes. Lone Hunter Schmidt. What a crazy dude. Just going to kill himself in the fire as usual. But he's actually done a little bit of damage. Each shot from his arrow does like a little bit less than I do. Why don't you just get... Yeah, thank you. Thank you for killing him, because he was just getting in my way. But why doesn't he just stand at the back of the fight and shoot a couple of arrows in now and then, as opposed to just, like, getting right up in your face and getting hit by the extra attacks? It's real stupid, I think. Alright, so I've used Dark Pine Resin. That was very scary. I got probably a little bit lucky with my dodge there. And, you know, resin's fairly easy to come by, so I don't mind if I don't end up getting maximum efficiency out of it. Life's good still. It actually doesn't do very much extra damage at all. Okay, good dodge. There's actually an attack, I should say, that I'm trying to bait out of him, which is basically a just vomitorium type thing. There we go. And I don't know what that does. It probably poisons us, but it also gives us a good chance to get in some extra damage of our own. We should probably be a little bit stronger before fighting this guy, to be honest with you. I think by the time I was fighting him in my off-camera play, I had the large club, or sorry, great club plus like 4, which was doing 400 damage or something per hit. So this is going to be a little tougher, obviously. But I should still be okay if I just play my cards right. I might have to focus a little bit here. I think I like rotating to the right on this fight instead, because we can then dodge under that attack. That did like no damage to him on the first swing there, much to my chagrin. But let's just keep it up. It's pretty par for the course when it comes to Dark Souls. Just got to make sure you dodge that last shot appropriately, of course. Yeah, that was nasty. I got a little cocky and attacked him when I should have just let my stamina regen. It's okay though. As long as we can dodge under attacks like that, we can get him bed down below that 50% mark, and that's really where the fun is going to begin here, because then he basically becomes like Mega Smo from Dark Souls 1. It's weird saying Dark Souls 1, or hearing Dark Souls 1, I'm sure. I can relate, believe me. So it's very important to be good with our stamina. And I might want to Estus before he hits that 50% threshold. I definitely want to stay away from the damn fire. See, I want to make sure I have 100% stamina so that I'm oh, no! Don't kill me. Don't. Whoa! Alright. I'm starting to realize that we probably want to level up a little bit before we fight the Rodden again. At the very least, we have discovered this kind of area of the game. This is a boss fight that we can teleport to on a regular occasion if we need to. But for now, why don't we go look for another area? And I know exactly what other area we can actually go to. So we'll teleport back to Majula. Kind of unfortunate. Again, you know, I've beaten this boss solo. Lone Hunter Schmidt, though. It would be nice if he wasn't as bad as he is. Good lord, though, is he bad. Alright, so, you know, we're not under-leveled for the Rodden by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we're kind of under-equipped. I think I need a better weapon. A lot of people have been telling me, you know, find the Bastard Sword, use the Bastard Sword. And I would love to, I just kind of love to find the Great Club, though. I had it by this point when I was playing through earlier. There's a couple of different areas we can go to. I'm just trying to think of where I want to go. Well, here's one thing we can do. I don't think I showed you this area earlier, but there is another path that you can kind of take from Majula. There's several paths that you can take from Majula, actually. And we got an item, if you recall, in the gutter called a Fragrant Branch of Yore. So what the Fragrant Branch of Yore will actually allow us to do, I don't remember if this is actually the right path. Is this the path back through the tutorial? If so, then I need to turn around. It's not. Okay, good. The Fragrant Branch of Yore is basically an item that allows us to unpetrify somebody. And we have to use this a lot throughout the game at certain story segments. But we'll talk to this guy first. Obviously, he's got the Moonlight Greatsword. Looks like a badass.
The way your under's all blocked up, you see, by this god-awful statue.
Alright, so I'm not going to let him talk too much more, but I'm going to get this item here. Life Gem, ×3, and a Homeward Bone. That's not anything to sneeze at. Now, there are some annoying enemies in here that I think cause petrify. So, I colloquially refer to these guys as, like, Lance Armstrong monsters, basically. But they're pretty much just, like, hollows with special effects attached to them. You know, like Michael Bay style. Now, if we just hang out here, there we go. Watch out for the dude with the weapon. He's the most annoying out of all of them. We'll fight a lot of these guys as time goes on. We also get Lloyd's Talisman, which lets us avoid mimics, but we're going to use a Fragrant Branch of Yore on this lady who got stuck on the switch, and then we'll have an NPC that we can talk to when she wakes up, which should be right now, if I remember correctly. Any second now. I mean, I guess I can understand having some atrophy. Oh, spit it out. Alright, we're gonna talk to her again. She is, well, she'll tell us her name. She's Rosabeth, and basically she is a pyromancy NPC. So we get a prism stone from her, fantastic. That's gonna be really useful. But, she wants some clothes from us. So we're gonna give her some clothes that maybe she can wear. So give equipment. We'll give her some stuff that we don't use. So we'll give her the imported hood. And we'll give her maybe imported tunic. She can just wear like our started set, basically. And imported trousers. There you go. So she'll probably end up wearing those. And that's an achievement, I believe, in the game as well. But we can also buy items from her. She sells some rings that increase our defense. These actually might be really useful depending on which bosses we're fighting. She also sells some items that improve our defense temporarily. And some pyromancy spells, as you can see. But that's not the important part. Basically, she's going to head back to Majula. So I am going to pull this switch. And I think when I pull this, we'll actually have like 1,000 Lance Armstrong monsters come out from the doldrums here. Oh, good, and lock me in. I forgot about that part. So let's try not to get petrified here. Like, not only turned to stone, but also just scared shitless? For chickless? Alright, you're not dead? For some reason, I thought you were the one that was gonna die. And look at that, it's another friend of ours from Dark Souls 1, the Basilisk, who, as you know, if you played Dark Souls, he imparts curse on you, which is probably the most dangerous status effect in the game. But to be honest with you, cursing has changed a little bit in Dark Souls 2, and is not as bad, but still pretty annoying. Actually, the Basilisk might impart Petrify now, which is also bad, but nothing as bad as Curse from Dark Souls 1, at least. So we picked up some souls there. I never checked to open these doors, I think, before, because I basically just sprinted through the area as fast as I could. Let's see what we've got in these areas below the staircase here. Estus Flash Shard? That's super useful! How did I miss that on my last play? That's actually shameful that I missed that. So that'll take us up to 5 Estus, which, oh, and there's a bonfire here, too. Alright, so I'm an idiot for not discovering this earlier, obviously, because I basically just sprinted through this area as fast as I could. We should travel back to Majula and reinforce our Estus Flask, but it's not 100% necessary right now. So obviously the Basilisk respawns. I don't know if the other Lance Armstrong monsters do, but we should probably at the very least kill the Basilisk and then move onwards. We may have to deal with these ding-dongs. Nope, if we just run away, most of them will lose their aggro. Good. Alright, so this area is nothing to sneeze at either, but we'll make our way to maybe the next bonfire, if there is a bonfire we can get to, and then we'll cut it short for now, because there is another area we can get to from here that will allow us to fight another boss. But we haven't found it just yet, and it's an area that, you know what, I'll be positive for once, is maybe a little bit less tricky than some of the other areas that we'll encounter later, so it might be a little bit easier for us. Falchion could be a cool weapon for us to use, but that's for later. Because right now, I need to get more Titanite to be able to use that. They really throw like a dung pie at me. I forgot that these enemies are kind of dicks. I mean, it's either a dung pie or maybe he's just throwing a rock at me. Not the country. That would be absurd, of course. Unless they were like really, really strong. And I can't believe I haven't leveled up in like 2 videos. That's the thing that scares me a little bit. But you really, like, the way my leveling up strategy works in Dark Souls 2 is when I get boss souls, I convert those to levels usually, and prior to that, I'd just lose my souls, basically, like the lady in the cutscene told me that I would. So this is the Shaded Forest. This is a very important region of the game, because it's necessary for your progress, but it's also very important because it, it's more than meets the eye, shall we say. Again, I don't want to spoil anything for those of you who are, like, watching the game as you play along, but you'll be coming back to Shaded Forest, now and then to accomplish some things, of relative importance. So pay close attention to the route that you actually take as you make your way through here. I think we are due for another weapon, to be 100% honest with you. So we'll just fight our way through these Lance Armstrong hollows. And maybe after this episode, I'll take a look off camera to see if there's any weapons that I can get that would actually be better for me to use right now. So this is actually a fork in the road for us here. I'm just going to rest at this bonfire, but there's a path that we can take there. I'll stop resting so you can actually see a path we can take there and a path we can take there. And I believe that this foggy forest is the way that we want to go first. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed this episode. You saw the Rotten. I died to him a couple of times. I'm going to try to get a little bit stronger. But the good thing about Dark Souls 2 in terms of its structure is that we can take several different paths concurrently and then fight all the bosses at once if we want to. But in any case, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to show your support. Click the like button if you liked the episode. It helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more Dark Souls 2 in your inbox. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I will see you next time.